Good morning, everybody. So I've spent my entire career until a few months ago actually only designing V8 and V12 cars with at least 400 horsepower. So, it was quite a change for me to get into the sort of alternative energy or the industry which is now happening, which is really the electrification of the automotive industry. And what drove me in this direction was really, I felt that there was a clear market shift, there was a clear consumer shift in terms of what we think we need to do for our environment, what we need to do in terms of not being so dependent on oil. And a couple of years ago, I came across what essentially is a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, a drivetrain. And what I realized the advantages was for this vehicle was, to a certain extent, unlimited power and no problem with range. So there's no limit on the range. And that was really where I felt there was great possibilities in the direction of a plug-in hybrid drivetrain. We started a company, Fisker Automotive, in sort of mid-2007 with venture backing from Palo Alto investors, Kleiner Perkins, and later a few others joined in. And our idea is really to create a range of vehicles which is slightly different from most other companies' approach to environmentally friendly cars. And my thought was really, why does environmentally friendly cars always have to be small and strange looking and very slow a lot of times? So I really felt there was a chance here to go into a market, specifically the premium market, with a new type of vehicle and a new brand that poses sort of a different image and caters to a different lifestyle for people. So what we created was the first car that's going to come out next year, the Fisker Karma, which is a large four-door sports sedan with pretty radical styling. It goes the first 50 miles in pure electric, and after that it'll go another 250 miles using a range extender, so a 2-liter gasoline engine that drives a generator. The advantage with this powertrain is we have 400 horsepower. It's got pretty much the power of a similar V8 in its class. The car will retail for $87,000, so we're obviously competing with sort of in the premium segment of limousines, mostly from the German and Japanese brands in that segment. But what we feel is really interesting, obviously, is that 80% of Americans drive less than 50 miles a day, and that's pretty similar in Europe as well. So for most consumers, it really means they don't need to use any gasoline during their daily commute to and from work. But obviously, when you need to go far, the range extender kicks in after those 50 miles, and now you're just driving it like a normal hybrid. Obviously, when you start a new car company, there's a lot of skeptics, and it's really hard to predict what is really the market, specifically when you come out with something that nobody's ever done before, and with a new brand. But so far, we have taken over 1,500 orders on this vehicle, and we have sort of done our own market survey and market study on the first 1,000 people. And I think there's a lot of interesting things coming out of this study. Obviously, all the people that come to our brand come from some other brand, and it's interesting to see the migration from specifically some of the German brands, which traditionally have very, very strong consumers that really are brand loyal. But we have talked to these people, and it's clear that their mind shift towards wanting to have a vehicle which projects their responsibility in society, projects what the future might be, and people are really willing to spend the extra money. But here comes really the interesting question: what is the extra money? And as we have talked about many times within Fisker Automotive, also with our investors, is that a lot of the people who buy our car actually don't really see that they're paying a premium. In fact, many of the people who bought our car initially thought it was going to be more expensive. And that is really, I think, where our secret lies and what we're trying to do. We're trying to create vehicles where the consumer does not feel they're paying a premium for this technology. And a large part of that has to do with exterior design, interior design, and that's something where I think we have probably an edge at this point in time. We believe this market will grow tremendously because it's really the first, after our opinion, environmental friendly vehicle where there's no compromise to the consumer. In fact, you probably have a couple of added features. One would be, for instance, you can plug it in at home, which you can't get fuel from your own car at home if it's a pure gasoline car. And of course, versus a pure electric car, you can stop at the gas station and fill it up. So we have also decided, because we see this market potential, that we will create a lower cost vehicle that will come out in a couple of years. We have just received a Department of Energy loan for that for over $500 million, and obviously worked very closely with the Department of Energy for this application. And when the Department of Energy did market research, they actually hired an external company, market agency, and we actually saw with them that there was a larger potential worldwide than we originally thought. An interesting thing, again, I think with our company is we really want to become a worldwide company, meaning we want to sell our vehicles worldwide. So we design on purposely the vehicles to be desirable not only here in the US for the American consumer, but also for the European consumer, for people in Asia, etc. And we believe we can export more than 50% of our vehicles ultimately. We do have plans to become somewhat of a mass manufacturer, making several 100,000 vehicles a year eventually. We see that the potential is there. We believe, obviously, that this is the biggest shift in the car industry, probably since we went from the horse to the gasoline engine. And it's clear that there's a certain window of opportunity. We feel and we can see that every day the consumer is getting more and more, I think, comfortable with the fact that we are going in a direction of the electrification of vehicles. Obviously, there's still a lot of infrastructure that has to be done if we're going to go completely to electric vehicles. At this point in time, with the plug-in hybrid, you can really operate and own a plug-in hybrid without needing a new infrastructure. And we think that's a huge advantage for Fisker Automotive and our vehicles. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Henrik.